Switch costs.
I'd like to call to order the November 1st, 2016 meeting of the Sayreville Board of Education. If everybody could please stand and join me in the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Board Secretary, has this meeting been advertised in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act?
Yes, it has.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Balca?
Here.
Mrs. Batco?
Here.
Mr. Bashada?
Here.
Mrs. Bloom?
Here.
Mr. Syak?
Here.
Mrs. DePinto?
Here.
Mr. Esposito?
Here.
Mr. Walsh?
Here.
Mr. McAgnon?
I am present. I need a motion to go into executive session. Well, yes, I need a motion to go.
So moved.
Any second?
Second.
Could you please read the resolution and what we'll be discussing?
Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances. And whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Education of the Borough of Sayreville, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, as follows. The public shall be excluded from discussion of and action upon the hereinafter specified subject matters. The general nature of the subject matter to be discussed is as follows. Personnel, including but not limited to agenda items. It is anticipated at this time that the above stated subject matter shall be made public at such time as the need for non-disclosure no longer exists. This resolution shall take effect immediately. Mr. Balca?
Yes.
Can I add something?
Mrs. Batco?
Can you just add, I'd like to get an update on the pension status? I don't know. if that's
That would
close.
fall under personnel.
That's under
All
personnel.
right. Is the attorney coming?
No.
All right.
Mrs. Batco?
Yes.
Mr. Bashada?
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom?
Yes.
Mr. Syak?
Yes.
Mrs. DePinto?
Yes.
Mr. Esposito?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. McAgnon?
Yes, the board will go into executive, and we will reconvene at 7:30 for public. Thank you. November 1st, 2016 meeting of the Sayreville Board of Education. With Veterans Day coming up next week, when we recite the pledge, let's kind of do it extra loud, okay? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Board Secretary, has this meeting been advertised in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act?
Yes, it has.
Outstanding. Roll call, please.
Mr. Balca?
Here.
Mrs. Batco?
Here.
Mr. Bashada?
Here.
Mrs. Bloom?
Here.
Mr. Syak?
Here.
Mrs. DePinto?
Here.
Mr. Esposito?
Here.
Mr. Walsh?
Here.
Mr. McAgnon?
I am present. Can you please give the public a short synopsis of our very short agenda in the executive?
Just personnel, including but not limited to agenda items.
Okay. The good doctor, we have a presentation seat.
Yes, sir.
Outstanding.
As you know, several years ago, we took inventory of the fact that we felt that our staff members in Sayreville needed more professional development, more training. And one of the first things that we did to address that was to search for a person that we felt could ensure that all of our staff members receive not only the training that they need to be effective in the positions, but also the professional development that they need in order to grow. And of course, with the mindset of being that the more our professionals can grow, the more our students will learn and the better outcomes we'll promote for them. And this particular person that we selected developed this incredible idea called Sayreville University. And I'm proud to say that after 2 years, Sayreville University is one of the shining jewels, I believe, of Sayreville. In fact, many teachers have provided extensive amounts of positive feedback to us about the work that Mrs. Johnson and Mrs. DeSantis are doing within Sayreville University, the training that they're providing and the professional development that they're giving to all of our staff members. So, Mr. Syak brought up the idea, and I thought it was a perfect idea to invite Mrs. Johnson and Mrs. DeSantis in tonight so that they can talk to you about the accomplishments that they have made with regard to the development of Sayreville University, as well as our November 8th Professional In-Service Day. So I give you Mrs. Johnson and Mrs. DeSantis.
Good evening. I just want to say thank you for the invite to do the presentation. It's quite an honor. And thank you for your recognition in your email. It was nice to read over the weekend. I appreciate it. I also would like to thank you for supporting professional learning in the district and to Dr. Labby for his vision. So we have 3 branches under Sayreville University. One is the New Teacher Institute. That would handle our orientation program. This summer, we also continued a 3-day orientation versus a 2-day, which we switched last year. It contains district training, regulation. We still take the teachers on a bus tour, which is still, gets great feedback, and they love to see the community. I think it speaks to Sayreville as a community and the culture, and the value that we have here in our town. We have monthly principal roundtables. Mr. Del Rubino at the high school was one of the administrators who suggested that. It's worked out awesome, and at the high school level, they are really growing so vastly that we might have to move them out of the classroom. They had new teachers, mentors, and experienced teachers attend for the past 2 months, and the rate is growing. It's a pretty productive session. It speaks again to school-specific climate, culture, and teachers, new staff, and veteran staff really get a lot of information as it pertains to what's going on in that particular school. We also have quarterly workshops for all new staff, not just novice, but new to the district. This year, we're expanding to 2nd and 3rd year teachers. Last year, our 1st year teachers received workshops from South River, and that was the New Jersey Coaches Achievement Grant, which is how we learned of the program. So this year, they're going to actually get the 3rd model that they did not get last year. So we'll continue their professional learning as well. This year, we also have mentor program induction coordinators at every building. So again, a sign of growth. We in the district formerly had 3 mentor coordinators, but at the elementary level, it was really difficult for that one person to manage all elementary schools. Last year, we tried to kind of divide and conquer, and this year, thanks to Dr. Shediak and working out the grant money for mentoring, we were able to assign or go through a process to find a coordinator at every building. So they maintain all mentoring documents, they host the principal roundtables, and they really coordinate a lot with our mentors and our new staff. CITI is the Curriculum Initiatives Technology Integration branch. These workshops are offered to support district initiatives and student achievement through content and technology enhancement. Project Read, Linkit, OnCourse, RTI, STMath, Google, Discovery Education are just some of the topics that we have brought in under Sayreville University. This year, I'm also really proud to say that we've accommodated the demand for professional learning for our paraprofessionals. So we have a free self-study program, which is the Para Educator program, and that's out of the University of Nebraska. The paraprofessionals were introduced, we got them on, did a little presentation on September 2nd, and they've really taken the program and they've run. They're gracious, and again, it defines their own learning and a certification process for their profession. The foundation branch would be your regulation training for all staff. Global Compliance Network, or GCN. We kind of revamped the table this year. We've opened all modules to all staff, so they will complete all regulation training. However, they still have access to other modules that they just want to take for hours or to expand their professional learning. Where are we now? All staff registration, thanks to Barb DeSantis, which is, I know she really is my co-host. I feel like she should be standing here with me. Thanks to Barb, our entire registration process from beginning to end, and you'll find a lot of that documentation on the right side of your folder. I really wanted to give you an idea of the background and what happens. It's not just like the teacher pops in at a workshop. So the teacher, we use a SMORE flyer. If you can pull up the SMORE. So this is a website, a web-based newsletter program, and we're able to summarize all of the course offerings. This year we're starting with our fall offerings. We're now scheduling for winter offerings. So on here, there's a summary of the process of how you register and attend Sayreville University. There are workshops with descriptions and presenters. There are also links right from this page to the Google form that then allows the registration. From the registration, a spreadsheet and a data collection process occurs. The teacher gets a letter. It says, your workshop is pending until Dr. Shediak's office approves the professional development day. Once they are approved, they get a confirmation letter just reminding them this is the date. We look forward to seeing you with more directions on, driving around Slover, parking by door 12. And then they get a survey, and then their professional development certificate is automatically generated from Google, off of Google Forms and Docs. Thank you. I do appreciate also, I'd like to say, the new ASAP process, because teachers now have the ability to upload the PD paperwork right to ASAP, in addition to our Sayreville University letter, which symbolizes that they have registered with us, and again, that Dr. Shediak just needs to approve the day. Throughout Sayreville University, we've also fostered teacher leadership. So again, it is a promotion of teachers for teachers, and there is value in utilizing some of our master teachers and our teachers who are really experts in some of the topics and initiatives that we're trying to do here in Sayreville. We've also this year created virtual learning. Google Classrooms has an option where you can designate exactly what that is, Google Classrooms, with various topics. In your folder, you will also see that table with all of the types of classrooms that we have. We load resources into them, so teachers and staff can join the classrooms, depending on what they would like to learn, find resources and guides. We've shifted our professional learning communities this year onto the Google Classroom to promote online learning, collaboration, and it's really been a nice effort on behalf of the staff. Just to kind of show you a little bit about how many classes we've run and for how many students. Last year we were really up and running with our registration process and workshops. Year January, we offered 13 classes at 154 students. Right now, over the course, we ran 2 summer sessions in August, September and October. We have 8 classes and 82 students. So we're already growing. We're producing workshops that are in demand and that staff is interested in. And I have a feeling we're going to double, if not triple, our staff for this year. Where are we headed? Based on a very successful workshop with invited South Amboy teachers last week, as a matter of fact, the Sayreville University Achievement Coaches will continue to invite districts for modules to develop valuable partnerships. Sayreville University will also explore the option of inviting districts to attend our non-achievement coach workshops and perhaps generate revenue for the Sayreville School District. The Sayreville New Teacher Institute is extending professional learning, as I said, to second and third year new teachers. This year we also, I was involved in a meeting with POAC, and we're going to expand to our parents, students who are special needs, and we're going to have a lunch and learn in January. So that's an exciting opportunity as well to invite our parents in for some professional learning. And I am proud to say, I think I'm really Barb's ticket into New Jersey Texpo. But we filed an application to actually present in Atlantic City, and we're taking our show on the road. Been traveling to some conferences, workshops, particularly the New Jersey Coaches Achievement Grant Summer Institute in Trenton in July. There were a lot of questions about what we do here, how we do it, from the ground up, where did you start? And so that was our proposal for Texpo, is to help other districts get going and get started with exactly what we did here. And I think the key is there's such a low cost involved for this professional learning structure, so I think it will attract other districts. And on to Staff Development Day. At this point, again, I can't thank Barb enough. Whoever didn't register or missed registration or registered for the wrong workshop, I just forward the emails, we go through the spreadsheet, see where our openings are, and it's really been quite a process. But again, shifting from Eventbrite, which is a great site, to Google. Using Google allows us to kind of have more of a touch on our data, where things are going. And again, it allows us the automated process of confirmation letters now that teachers will receive with room numbers, professional development certificates, and the like. We've now registered close to 600 staff members, 611 staff members on Google. So, thanks Google. Drew, if you'll open up the event program. Yep, this is the event program. Would you just scroll down a little bit? Again, I just wanted to kind of give you guys a view, and this is what, Kevin, you saw on the district email that kind of prompted your feedback. We have expanded our program quite a bit to outside instructors as well as in-district presenters. This year we were able to recruit, not necessarily put out for proposal, as we've usually done, but again, fostering district initiatives, and we really encourage teachers to drive the professional learning requirements that we're trying to accommodate. So this is our program. Teachers receive this by email. They reviewed it for a few days, and then they received the link to actually register. So for us, registration opens from 7 p.m. on a Wednesday, and then we closed it just on Sunday at 7 p.m. as well. And Drew, if you'll open up the registration, Drew is going to complete a fake registration for you so you can see the process. When the teachers click the link, and paraprofessionals and other staff, they have a little kind of direction section. They type in their name, their school email. By collecting email and name, again, this is part of the auto-generation process of certificates and emails to be sent. Once they enter their information, they go to step 2. They select their workshop. So that's session 1, here's session 2.
You didn't pick mine? Jeez.
And then just a little, thank you for your response. Teachers actually, so tomorrow they'll get an email tomorrow morning early with directions now for receiving the confirmation letter. You have a sample of what they will see when they get their confirmation letter. They're directed to print that out. And again, this is the first time where teachers actually get the room number on a piece of paper that they bring with them. In the past, rooms were designated, and they would find out what room it was when we arrived to the professional development day. There's a detachable door prize ticket, so we have donations that we, give away as door prizes to our staff. So they'll, kind of like a gift auction in a sense, drop their door prize ticket in whatever door prize they'd like to win. And that's going to be during the convention-style luncheon that we're having. Well, lunch that we are having. This is the first time. Shelley Jenkins was awesome, and we worked at creating $5 box lunches. So the menu is also in there, and this is the menu that the staff had to review. Pre-orders were done thanks to Michael Rylance and Shelley. We worked out on the lunch system. If a teacher pre-ordered, they went to a cashier in the cafeteria. They paid their $5. The cashier pressed the button, 11-8 pre-order, and then we just marked off a label and their meal selection. That will go on their bag the day of 11-8. They'll pick up their lunch, and they don't necessarily have to eat in the cafeteria. They can take it wherever. And I do have financial vendors coming in. Microsoft is going to have some tech for teachers to play around with and staff. The university will have a table. So that table diagram is also in your folder for you as well. There's an anecdotal link to the Sayreville University logo that I should have told you about. When you click it, it should apply. So many thanks. There are a lot of people who have made this a success. These are just a few images of our year in review in Sayreville University. So while I thank you for the recognition, obviously teamwork makes the dream work. I have to say this position and what we're trying to foster here with teacher leaders and teacher leadership and a true community of professional learning has opened a lot of doors. As you know, I had a team at the New Jersey DOE speaking to the process now of certifying teachers as teacher leaders. And again, the collaboration and visiting with other partners. Old Bridge is a partner with us at South Amboy, as a matter of fact, for the Coaches Achievement Grant. So the teachers couldn't be more grateful. Other administrators that you have here that have come from other districts, Jen Badami, as a matter of fact, comes to mind today. We were talking about November 8th, go figure. You know, and she cited being in other districts and the programs that other districts are trying to kind of instill and make it a community feel. She really had great things to say about our program and what we're fostering here. So it's a pleasure to work here and it's a pleasure to do this job. I thank you.
Shannon,
And thank you to Barbara.
I have a couple of questions, Shannon. What do you see as your most popular workshops, or the most attended, where you get the best positive feedback from, seem to be?
So we have one featured presenter. I feel like she's our guiding reading specialist at this point. You know, at the elementary level, Daily 5, guided reading, mentor texting, ST Math is very big now because it's in all K5, it's in all K3 school buildings. So those are in demand. We get great feedback. Anything tech with Barbara fills up quite quickly, and again, the feedback is overwhelming.
You mentioned, you talked a little bit about Google Classroom. Is that widely used within the district? Do we have teachers using Google Classroom?
We're making strides, certainly. In fact, that was one of the workshops requested on our staff development day this year.
Okay. Are either of you Google certified trainers? Do you are, Barbara?
Barb's a
That's
Google
great. That's
certified
great.
trainer.
That's why I get through Google stuff.
Okay. Well, you know, I remember when this position was created and you interviewed, and you did exactly what you said you were going to do. I mean, this is, I mean, it's an awesome program. I agree 100% with you. A lot of districts don't come anywhere close to this type of professional development. You created this. And this is just a perfect example of what happens when you take very motivated, talented people and you give them carte blanche and say, just make it happen. You own this, and it's just it's a great program. And you know, we thank you for it.
Thank you, I appreciate that. It means a lot.
Mr. Sy.
When I saw this, I saw the link where you actually go to register, and I saw all the courses that were offered. And I remember when Sayreville University first launched, it was basically our old professional development program with a nice fancy name. And I've watched it over the years grow, and I really think you hit an apex here in terms of the offerings. And I know it's only temporary because you're only going to grow higher. You're going to move further. But when I saw all the course offerings that were in there, coupled with the lunch that you were offering, coupled with the exhibit floor that not only included educational vendors, but also looked after our personnel and our staff from a financial sense with having Equitable come in, from a risk management sense with having AFLAC come in, and having offerings there to basically look after all of the needs of our staff. I was truly impressed by the entire Sayreville University concept and what you've built. Now, you had mentioned that you want to take this on the road. I'm going to offer a different scenario. I'm going to ask Dr. Labby, can we look for an opportunity with some of the smaller districts around here to coordinate our professional development days and have the road come to us and have South Amboy come to Sayreville for their professional development day? I realize that not all of the programs may overlap. We use ST Math. They may have something else. But maybe we can involve their educators in our program and use it as a revenue source.
You can definitely look into that.
I mean, you got several small districts that I think would be very interested in a comprehensive program like this. And while you're out there marketing it, Mr. Gluck-Malloy is about to be collateral damage. There would be an opportunity to also look at sharing our technology services, in particular with South Amboy, which is so close to us. Mr. Gluck-Malloy is going to go home and wonder how he got to be collateral damage in a professional development presentation, but congratulations. And Shannon and Barbara, great job. Really, really great job.
Outstanding.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you. Mr. Gluck-Malloy, not everybody thinks you're collateral damage. Okay, pressing on with the agenda. Approval of minutes. Everybody should have received the regular executive session meeting, minutes of the meetings of October 18th. Anybody have any comments, questions, deletions, additions about the minutes? If not, I'll accept the motion to accept and file. Ms. Bloom.
I have to ask you to abstain me on all of the SEA contracts. I was so caught up in the conversation at the last meeting that I neglected to say that I have to abstain on the SEA contracts.
Oh, when we voted?
Yeah.
Okay. That you can fix it. And anything else? Any other changes to the agenda? If not, I'll accept the motion to accept and file with that change that Mrs. Bloom mentioned.
So moved.
Any second?
Second?
Okay. Roll call vote to accept the minutes with that change?
Mr. Balca?
Yes.
Mrs. Bacco?
Yes.
Mr. Bashada?
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom?
Yes.
Mr. Syak?
Yes.
Mrs. DePinto?
Yes.
Mr. Esposito?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. McAgney?
Yes. We reached the time in the meeting when Mrs. Bacco gets to read the highlights.
Thank you. We would like to thank the Sayreville Fire Department and Fire Marshal Kevin Krasinski for bringing the fire trucks to our schools to help educate the children on fire prevention. Sayreville Middle School celebrated its 7th annual Pink Out. Inspired by the struggle of a student's mother, Ms. Taylor and the Physical Education Department established the annual Pink Out as a way to educate students about breast cancer. On October 10th, Sayreville Middle School students participated in a breast cancer walk around the football field during physical education class. The field was lined with large informational signs about breast cancer prevention and the importance of early detection. In addition to the walk, the entire middle school community was encouraged to wear pink to show support for those diagnosed with breast cancer. Under the leadership of Mrs. Florence Berman, 11 students from the business department have met the requirements for admission to the National Business Honor Society chapter of Sayreville War Memorial High School. They are the first students inducted into this newly created organization. The criteria used for induction included scholarship, character, leadership, and service. The students are Emily Alcacid, Nicole Senna, Gianna Fago, Nadine Fursi, Julia Glace, Harsh Kadakia, Yusra Khan, Brianna Krasnowski, Melissa Menza, David O'Donnell, and Jenna Squiat. Congratulations to all the inductees for their outstanding work.
Thank you, Mr. Dr. Labby, can you take us through your report, please?
Yes, sir. Okay, I bring your attention now to the superintendent's report. Let's start with Vision 2030 Finance and Infrastructure. Numbers 1 and 2 on page 2, we're asking you to approve the withdrawal of a bid that was submitted by Panoramic Window and Door Systems. And then later on, number 2, to approve a bid by the Houston Enterprises Incorporated for the replacement of those windows, that project at $72,000. Number 3, which can also be found on page 2, we're asking to approve several staff members, including myself, to attend just the recently referenced Texpo Conference, NJASA Texpo 2017 in Atlantic City. Number 4, which can be found on pages 2 and 3, we're asking to pay several non-Sayreville employees to present workshops during the annual Professional Development in Service Day that was just talked about. And of course, that's at the high school on November 8th. You can find that on pages 2 and 3. Numbers 5 through 7 and number 12, 5 through 7 can be found on page 3, and number 12 can be found on the addenda. We're asking to approve several building permits, some of which include facility usage fees in accordance with our district fee schedule. Number 8, which can be found on pages 3 through 5, we're asking to approve several non-jointer transportation routes for this school year with the Middlesex Regional, that should be the Ed Services Commission of New Jersey, formerly the Middlesex Regional Ed Services Commission. Number 10, which can be found on page 5, we're asking to approve subsidies for transportation costs. And finally, number 11, which can be found on pages 6 and 7, we have a private out-of-district tuition contract to approve, paraprofessional and speech and language related services for 2 students who are currently in private out-of-district schools, as well as additional paraprofessional services for in-district students participating in after-school activities, such as, I believe there is several for our unified sports program, and I believe there is another one for another after-school activity. I think it's a dance at the middle school. And we also have a specialized psychological evaluation that we're asking you to approve for a student with a disability. Again, all that can be found on pages 6 and 7. Any questions on finance and infrastructure? Any comments?
Do you remember what we budgeted for the window, by any chance?
It was around 90,000.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, moving on. Before we only have 8 items on student achievement, but Dr. Shediak has very important news to inform you about with regard to student achievement.
Our final student from the class of 2016 has met his graduation testing requirement. So we found that out yesterday, so we're at 100% who were able to graduate.
Excellent.
And that's really terrific. Everyone here at the high school, everyone involved, Mrs. Sokola, the supervisors, the administration, the teachers really should be congratulated for this
Fantastic.
terrific achievement.
Gotcha. Good.
Again, so on Vision 2030 student achievement, we have 8 items of approval of several co-curricular activities. You can find those on pages 7 and 8. Any questions on student achievement? Or comments? Seeing none, to governance, we're asking you to approve our annual resolution commemorating all of our veterans of the military in honor of Veterans Day. And you can find that resolution on pages 8 and 9. Number 2, we're asking you to approve the October 2016 HIV report, including any investigations or recommendations for action provided by me. You can find that on page 9. And finally, number 4, which can be found on page 10, approval of the 2016-17 qualitative single accountability continuum statement of assurance.
Do you have that? Do you have that for my signature?
You'll need to, sign that. Is that in your folder? Was that in your folder?
No.
I'll get that for you then. Sorry about that.
It might have been. I just didn't. I didn't think. No, that wasn't. I wouldn't notice that.
Any questions on governance? Moving on to personnel. Number 1, we're asking you to set the retirement of a very special teacher. And normally I do have a write-up. I did not receive a write-up, but I will provide a summary of Ms. Remick during our November 15th Board of Education meeting. We do have a retirement, and again, I will provide that at our November 15th Board of Education meeting. We also do have a resignation. We're asking you to approve. You can find that on page 10. That's number 2. Numbers 4 and 16. 4 can be found on page 10. 16 can be found in the addendums. We're asking you to approve several leave of absences for the 2016-17 school year. Numbers 6 through 9, we're asking you to amend several previously approved salaries for the 2016-17 school year. You can find those on pages 11 and 12. Numbers 10 and 11, which can be found on pages 12 and 13. And number 17, which can be found in the addendum, we're asking you to approve to hire 2 replacement teachers, 1 cafeteria worker, 1 part-time secretary, and 1 lunchroom playground aide for the 2016-17 school year. Number 12, which can be found on page 13, and number 19, which can be found in the addendum, we're asking you to approve several volunteer or unpaid winter season coaching assignments. Number 13, which can be found on page 13, as well as number 20, which can be found in the addendum, we're asking you to approve 2 substitute teachers. Number 14, which can be found on pages 14 and 15, we're asking you to approve an assortment of professional days. Number 15, we're asking you to approve to compensate several staff members for presenting workshops in the aforementioned November 8th Professional In-Service Day at the high school. You can find those on pages 15 and 16. Number 18, which can be found in the addendum, we're asking you to approve the hiring of the Sayreville War Memorial High School Winter Guard stipend advisor assignment, and that's for the 2016-17 school year naturally. Numbers 21 and 22, we're asking you to approve Title III tutorial program staff members, and that can be found in the addendum. And finally, numbers 23 and 24, which is also on the addendum, we're asking you to approve substitute staff for both the literacy and math academies. Any questions on Vision 2030 personnel? Comments? Seeing none, Mr. McEnroe, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody have any comments, questions on Dr. Labby's agenda before I open up to the public? At this time, I'd like to open up the public for any comments or questions you have on agenda items only. I will open up to the public for any business that may come before this board. If agenda items only, anybody have any questions or comments on the agenda items? Seeing none, I'll close the public portion and entertain a motion to accept and file the superintendent's report.
So moved.
Need a second? Roll call to approve the superintendent's report, please.
Mr. Balka?
Yes.
Mrs. Backo?
Yes.
Mr. Bashada?
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom?
Yes.
Mr. Sayak?
Yes.
Mrs. DePinto?
Yes.
Mr. Esposito?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. McAgnone?
Yes. Has there been any committee meetings since the last meeting? Finance?
Nope.
Student achievement, no policy? Personnel?
Personnel had an early meeting earlier today. We just talked about the updated vacancy spreadsheet.
Okay.
And governance will meet before the next meeting so we can get the policy on the building use security issue
Okay,
resolved.
very good. On discussions, I just have one thing. During the conference last week, and this is about the third time I spoke to this individual, Sergeant First Class Johnson. Myself and Mrs. Backo and Mr. Esposito went to a workshop back in, I think it was June or July, at Fort Dix and Location X, one of the classified ranges, where the Army did a demonstration of their technology that's used. And there's no greater application of STEM than in the technology that the Department of Defense employs. And I met him, had an interesting conversation with him for about 20 minutes at the conference. He's the only soldier in the United States Army that actually goes to work in New Jersey school boards. And the reason he's there is because of the Army's investment in STEAM, and they offer a lot of resources to school districts that could be used, and a lot of resources that we may not have to pay for. What I want to do is, if it's okay with the board, is I want to invite him either to our next meeting, November 15th, or we have what? Do you have two meetings in December or just one? Do you know?
In December, we have
December.
two.
We have two? Okay, one of those meetings, I'll give him an option to see how his schedule looks, so he can come in and do a presentation in public with the technology they have and how that may be applicable to our in-house STEM and science programs. I think that would be an interesting conversation. He's a very dynamic individual. He's a good speaker.
Tell them December 6th and December 20th.
December 6th, December 20th, okay. I will do. Anybody have any problems with that? Yes, sir.
Now, the only thing, you're mentioning about that, whatever happened to our ROTC that we talked about 4 or 5 years ago?
Dr. Labby, you got a phone call not too long ago, right?
Right, every year they tell us we're on the list, but last year, we did not make it to the list for the funding for it. It's a matter of funding right now.
That is, it was still in the federal government in still some areas is under sequestration, so they're not spending any money above and beyond what they need operationally. With an upcoming election, that's not going to change anytime soon, but Sayreville is very high on the list. And then this board just has to have a serious conversation whether we really want to go to the next level, because that's going to be a budget issue. And you're looking at, $100,000 line item if you want to bring that program here. Okay,
You have to fund an officer and
right, and both have to be certified teachers, and usually, the officer instructor has a master's degree or higher, and that's generally the field, so you pay accordingly.
and the funding that they provide, which we're on the list for, would pay for half of each.
Right, we'll reimburse the district for half of the salaries, plus pay for everything else, all
Yeah.
technology, all textbooks, everything that you need. So
So
it's
Tom,
really a big bang
we
for the
keep
buck,
moving up
but-
that list, but we weren't there last year.
The reason I ask this is because we're going to bring Sergeant Johnson, I believe his name is?
Yeah, but this is totally
I
unrelated,
understand that,
right.
but if he's on the school board, he's in the military, maybe before he comes, maybe he can do a little research and shed some more light on how much longer or what we're going to need to.
That, he would absolutely be no help to us with that. The best thing that happened is Dr. Labby can call down there, it's a superintendent, and I can give you the point of contact and the phone number, just to say, hey, look, we're still serious about this, what's the story? But it's a matter of funding.
The other thing with the ROTC, I would like to have that open both male and female students.
It is, it absolutely has to,
All right.
has to be, absolutely, it's a course of study, so.
Mr.
Okay.
McEnon, on the Sergeant Johnson piece.
Yes.
First of all, not only is he the only one that's in New Jersey School Boards Association, but New Jersey School Boards is the only state school board association in the nation
Right.
that has someone from the military on staff. If we're bringing him in, can we also ask New Jersey School Boards if they can send someone in who can talk to us about their newly launched Future Ready program?
Mhm.
Which is a certificated program, very much like Sustainable NJ. They're just launching it out now. We can be one of the first districts to jump on, and I think it fits in very well with the whole
Who's the point
STEM
of
and STEAM.
contact?
I don't even know.
Okay, I'll talk with him.
Because like I said, the program was just launched.
Right.
And it may even be Sergeant Johnson. He may be able to educate us on it.
Right.
But if not, if he could bring someone from NJSBA with him.
Right. People have, I've been asked a very good question. A very good question is, why is New Jersey School Boards Association bringing on a military individual? And the problem is because the DOD sees this across the board, that the recruits that are coming in the military today are struggling with the technology. How to use it, how to fix it out in the field, to understand it, and they're struggling with that. So the Army is taking the initiative to say, hey, high schools, we can help you with a STEM program. We can help you with these resources. We have people. When we went to that conference, most of the people we spoke to were not military folks. They were Department of Defense civilians that are all PhDs in electronic engineering, communications engineering, systems engineering, computer engineering, that would be the ones that would come and talk and do those kinds of workshops. So it's, it's the same thing like when we went down to the Goddard Space Center to talk about STEM and what NASA's doing and the Jim Webb telescope that's being deployed. So it's a great advantage. If we want to get serious about STEM, I think this is the place to start. So, all right. So we'll invite him either December 6th and 20th, and we'll reach out with the Future Ready program.
Perfect.
Any other items for discussion before I open up for the public? Seeing none, this wants to be a short meeting. That's okay. Like this, I'll open up for the public. If any business may come before this board, anybody have any questions, concerns, comments? Ma'am, please come up, state your name. Up to the microphone, yes.
Is this agenda items only, or?
No, this is open to the public. Genders, we already voted on the superintendent's report. Did we?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
So, Mr. Good evening. My name is Eileen Pabon. I am a parent of a 7th grade student at the Sayreville Middle School, and it might seem very petty what I'm about to say, but today my daughter was denied lunch because she owed $2.90. She spent the whole day hungry. She wound up getting a bad headache, and she also was nauseous. So I would like to know, what is the policy of the Board of Education when a student owes $2.90? She has run short on, besides this occasion, on 10/14, she was $1.35 short. She was given lunch. On 9/30, she was 25 cents short, and she was given lunch. So as the parent, I know it's my responsibility to make sure she has money and to make sure she has food. However, there are times when, if you're using my school bucks, that you don't realize that you're under. And when that happens, I don't really expect the cashier at the school to tell my daughter, well, sorry, you can't eat.
Right.
And it does affect the rest of the day for her. She has afternoon classes. So I think that's a little harsh. So I mean, I've met many of you on other occasions with the pick and all that, so I really don't think that the school board has a policy that we're going to cut you off and make you go hungry. However, I think maybe the threshold has to be established of what you can owe before you're denied food. I try to keep my account current, but sometimes it doesn't work. So I was very mad today, and I just wanted to come here this evening to express that and to make sure that there is some kind of policy that this doesn't happen.
I understand your concern. Dr. Labby, can you please address that?
Yeah, again, I don't know what occurred, and I will definitely look into that.
Well, I sent everyone an email, so you'll get that.
Okay, I will definitely look into it first thing in the morning. However, no child is ever denied food during lunchtime. If children do owe money, we do make sure that we communicate that to parents, and at the very least, they get a turkey sandwich, they get their choice of a milk or a fruit or whatever. They may not get the entree that is being served that they might want, but they do get a turkey sandwich, like I said. So was your daughter offered the turkey sandwich and she didn't want it?
No, she wasn't. And she told me today, I said, well, was it a regular person? Like, was it somebody substituting? She said, well, I've seen her before, but she's not the regular lady. So I said to her, well, you should have went and asked for a soup. I said, if that ever happens again, ask to speak to somebody in charge. Get a carrot or get a banana, something, even if it's just something.
And the $2 threshold sounds a little low too, but normally
$2.90.
Yeah, normally if children do owe money, they are not refused food. They do receive, like I said, their choice of water or milk, a turkey sandwich, and their choice of a fruit or a vegetable. They don't get the entree, but they do get that. All of our children do get food during lunchtime.
Okay.
So I'll look into what exactly happened. And again, if your child was not given lunch, please accept my apologies for that, and we will rectify that.
Yeah, it's like kind of petty in the world of troubles, but I said, you
No,
know
it's,
what? I'm
I
gonna
don't
go
find
and-
it petty at all. I mean, I think it's very important. Your daughter has to go through the rest of a very rigorous academic day without any nutritional sustenance. That's unacceptable. So I will definitely get to the bottom of it, and again, if she was not offered any food, please accept my apologies for that.
All right, well, thank you. She's
Yeah,
like,
this-
don't
this happened
embarrass
today?
me.
This was today?
This happened today
Okay.
at the middle school. And I mean, at UES, if you forgot, you know, they did give you like a yogurt, whatever they gave you. So I did instruct her to, if that ever happens again, go to, say you want to speak to a manager, the lady in charge. I said, because, you know, they could look up your record and see that you're not really that deficient and you always pay, so.
And she should also, I mean, just go to a teacher in the cafeteria. I know that our building administration is in the cafeteria at all times. Go to one of them, and they all know that she is to get food at lunchtime.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Just for my own benefit, Dr. Lab, how this new system works. I know we have the system where parents can put money on a card. And what do students do? They put in an ID number and then it's distracted, like, it's like Easy Pass for lunch?
Correct.
Is that how
Yeah.
it works?
To that
So
effect.
if the balance is low, does an email get pushed out? Or how
I
does that
believe it
work?
does, yeah. But I know that as a parent, you know, it sometimes can be tough staying up on all those things, and that's why you're supposed to have a fail-proof in the sense of.
So if you can just let Ms. Jenkins know again to brief her staff that no kid will be denied
Absolutely,
meals.
absolutely.
I'm sorry that happened to you. And when did you send an email out? Because I hadn't seen the email.
I didn't get one yet either.
Well, you'll get it, because
Okay.
Nasty's fine, we get them all the time.
No, these are the kind of things we need to know about so we can fix them, and you know, always you.
We're used to
Yeah.
nasty.
No, you're being a mom, that's fine. And Dr. Labby will just send you an email with the, you know, that this has been closed and the policy, so thank you very much. Anyone else from the public? It's 8:20.
I have one thing before we close. I'm sorry.
Not my fault. It's not my fault.
Dr. Labby, this is the Little Stars program.
Yes.
I know they have two programs, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Tuesday and Thursday. And it seems what occurred this year.
It's
the
incorrect.
The preschool.
The parents get to choose the days that they want.
Okay.
So they can have Monday, Thursday, Friday, they can pick up to 4 days, up to 5 days, up to 2 days.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I stand corrected. However, my granddaughter goes on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Correct.
And it seems they were only having a Halloween party for the Monday group, and the Tuesday, Thursday kids weren't going to have a Halloween party, which, okay, she's not going to die for missing a Halloween party. But then the pictures, they're only bringing the photographer in for one day. So for us, it's not a problem because we can bring her any day. But my concern would be for parents who can't shift their day. In the past, it was always done twice. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Did your daughter-in-law communicate to you what my response to her was?
Yes, she did.
So I'll communicate it to the board and the public. Our teachers provide, and the district provides, the students to come on those days. They can switch their schedule. For instance, if pictures are on a Wednesday and they're a Tuesday, Thursday child, they can come on Tuesday, Wednesday. Or I don't even care if they come one additional day that week so they can be there for pictures.
Okay.
We want to make sure that all of our kids get a chance to participate. What we can't do is have the photographer come out on 3 or 4 different days because the parents have an assortment of days that they can pick from, whatever's most beneficial to their particular schedules. We had the fire truck come. We could only have the fire truck out one day, so we give parents the option. You can change your schedule that week, or you can actually come an additional day. We won't charge you for that.
Okay, but again, for me, the concern was, what if everybody decided to come on that one day? Now you're going to have 2 days' worth of kids there on one day so that they can
Actually,
go to
no,
a
I
party.
mean, no,
No?
it doesn't work. Doesn't work that way.
Enlighten me.
Well, basically, you have kids, the highest number of kids we have in one class on one particular day is 20 kids.
Okay.
And that pretty much is a day where all of our kids are present. And then there's another day, obviously like a Tuesday, for example, there's only 13 kids. So there are some kids that come every single day. There are some kids that come twice a week, some kids that come 3 to 4 times a week. But no class is higher than, the one class of 3. The 4 and 5-year-old class has maximum 23 kids.
Okay.
The 3-year-old class has a maximum, I think, of 17 kids. So if all of them came at once, it would be 17 kids. But nonetheless, we'd still make accommodations for them,
Yeah,
because
okay.
those are very special activities that we don't want any of our kids to miss out on.
Well, as I said, it's not a problem for us because we can bring them any day, but, my concern is for maybe a parent who couldn't make that, that
Yeah.
switch, and their kid would lose out on the party and the pictures, so.
Yeah, I only received the one email about that. And
It's those blooms causing trouble again.
And we made sure that our teachers communicated that again, to all of their parents, that, we want you to come for those days, even if you come an additional day at no expense to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll let them know.
Okay, very good. Thank you again, Mrs. Johnson, Mrs. Santos, thank you again for your time and the excellent presentation.
I just want to wish the 3 people on the ballot next week good luck on Election Day.
Thanks.
Same here?
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, next meeting's November 15th.